Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. In this video, we will talk about what we know so far regarding the second stimulus check, the second stimulus package, the HEALS Act, the extended unemployment benefits, and all the negotiations that's going on in Congress. So I've gone through all the current news and information available, and these are the most relevant and most important information that is available at the moment. As always, I will link all these articles in the description below. So if you want to validate this, do some more research on your own, you should be able to do that. Finally, I just want to remind everyone that this is not a political channel. Obviously, we will be talking about different members of the Congress, the Republicans, Democrats, and the President. So irrespective of whichever political party you support, I request everyone be respectful towards the other party. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. So the first article we would be looking at is from Forbes.com. Second stimulus. Here's what it looks like it will include. After days of meetings that seemed to yield little progress, Democratic and White House negotiators on Tuesday agreed that they'll aim for a deal on the next stimulus bill by Friday, so Congress can vote on it next week, according to reporting from the Washington Post. And here are some key facts. It looks like the deal would include agreement on supplemental federal unemployment benefits, the extra $600 check per week that has now expired, and eviction protections for certain renters, the Post said, two big concessions from the White House negotiating team. Political reports that White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin have offered a $400 per week unemployment supplement, rather than the 70% wage replacement program previously floated by the GOP. Republicans are prepared to concede on giving another $200 billion to state and local aid, according to Politico. The GOP originally wanted no new aid for states, and Democrats want another $1 trillion. There's another sign of progress. Senator Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said Tuesday that he is prepared to support a stimulus package that includes an extension of those $600 checks. If the White House supports it too, that would be an even bigger concession for Republicans, who have thus far been unwilling to extend the benefits at such a level. Democrats have made concessions too, according to Politico. Among them, they are willing to reduce their request for more funding for the Postal Service. There are still major hurdles remaining, however, which have been exacerbated by infighting among Republicans. Those divisions are likely to give Democrats the edge at the negotiating table. And here is a crucial quote. "We have all agreed that we need to have an agreement," House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said on Tuesday. "That may not seem like much, but it's a significant step. After months with no negotiations this summer and days of deadlock after lawmakers returned to Washington several weeks ago." And here's a key background. With COVID-19 cases on the rise and several key benefits of the CARES Act already expired, Congress is under tremendous pressure to get a new relief bill out the door quickly. House Democrats passed their proposal, the $3 trillion HEROES Act, back in May, but deeply divided Republicans didn't float their plan, the piecemeal HEALS Act, until late July. President Trump had floated the possibility of using executive powers to go around Congress on the most pressing issues, though he said he may not have to resort to executive orders if a deal comes this week. It's not clear, however, that Trump actually has the power to do so. So we've all seen Trump say that he might use executive powers to go around Congress if a deal can't be reached. So we will take a deeper look at it in the next article. And here are some other links and URLs that is related to this news. So guys, that is it for this article. Before I move on to the next one, I just want to mention that I try not to cover information that I've already covered in a past stimulus check update video. So I will link the playlist that I've created for you that has all the second stimulus check update videos. So if you have time, I highly recommend checking that playlist out. If you have some useful information and URL to useful news links, feel free to leave them in the comments. Help out the community so others can find that information quickly and easily. And if you think someone will find this video helpful, feel free to share it with them as well. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, give it a thumbs up, give it a like. It lets me know that you guys found this video helpful. So, moving on to the next article. The next article is from the Chicago Tribune. Second stimulus check updates. President Trump, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell huddle with coronavirus relief talks at risks of collapse. President Donald Trump huddled at the White House Thursday with the Senate's top Republican over a vital COVID-19 rescue package, but hopes on Capitol Hill for a deal were souring, and there was increasing worry that GOP negotiations with Democrats might collapse. The impasse in the negotiations is putting at risk more than $100 billion to help reopen schools, a fresh round of $1,200 direct payments to most people, and hundreds of billions of dollars for state and local governments to help them avoid furloughing workers and cutting services as tax revenues shrivel. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is a key player in the troubled talks and possesses far more experience than Trump's administration negotiating team, which is publicly frustrated by the inflexible tactics of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. The Democratic duo has not yielded much ground from an unprecedented $3.5 trillion House-passed rescue package. McConnell seemed to downplay the significance of the Trump meeting, telling a reporter merely that we talked a little bit about everything. And Pelosi and Schumer were still exuding confidence in a political and legislative landscape that's tilted in their favor. Trump and McConnell both badly want an agreement, but Democrats control the House and may actually provide the lion's share of votes in the Senate. The votes, as Pelosi often says, are the currency of the realm. The Democratic duo has stayed in sync throughout the talks, which they demanded, even reminding reporters Thursday that their relationship dates to Schumer's time as a hard-charging House member in the 1980s and early 1990s. They say the federal coronavirus aid package needs to be huge in order to meet the moment. A surge in cases and deaths, double-digit joblessness, and the threat of poverty for millions of the newly unemployed. We believe the patient needs a major operation while Republicans want to apply just a Band-Aid, Schumer said. We won't let them just pass the Band-Aid, go home, and leave America bleeding. After Wednesday's session that produced no progress, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin were returning to Pelosi's Capitol suite to confront the gulf in their negotiating stances. Both sides have set a goal of agreeing on a deal by week's end, though that is appearing increasingly out of reach. So guys, I think getting a deal by the end of the week, which is about now, if you think about it, it seems quite unlikely at this point, if I'm being honest. The White House is also promising that Trump will attempt to use executive orders to address elements of the congressional package involving evictions and jobless benefits, but there is no evidence that the strategy would have much impact or be anything close to what's necessary, and Pelosi appeared unimpressed at a morning news conference. I don't think they know what they're talking about, Pelosi said dismissively. Addressing reporters, Pelosi and Schumer staked out a firm position to extend a lapsed $600 per week bonus jobless benefit, demanded generous childcare assistance, and reiterated their demand for food stamps and assistance to renters and homeowners facing evictions or foreclosure. Don't nickel and dime our children, Don't say we want to give a tax break to a business lunch and not give more money for children to have food stamps, Pelosi said. She was referring to a GOP proposal to increase the deduction for business meals from 50% to 100%. The idea seems likely to die, along with President Donald Trump's effort to cut the Social Security payroll tax, but Schumer and Pelosi continue to push to restore a tax break for state and local taxes paid mostly by wealthier people with high incomes and valuable homes. McConnell is likely to have to assume a higher profile if the talks are to come to a successful close, but he issued a grim assessment of the situation on Thursday, again complaining that Pelosi and Schumer are not negotiating in good faith. Day after day, they've stonewalled the president's team. Day by day, they've tried to invent new euphemisms to create the illusion of progress, McConnell said on Thursday. Frustration was palpable among Republican senators shuttling in and out of a GOP lunch session, some of whom say Schumer is intent on using the situation as a hammer against Republicans. So guys, overall, it's not looking very good. Obviously, there's a lot of heat in between both parties. I just hope for the people both parties can come together and reach an agreement soon. I think we can all agree on that portion. Breaking news newsletter. As long as they calculate that they are better off politically doing nothing, it's going to be hard for us to move forward, said Marco Rubio. And that's the calculation they have made, it appears. McConnell is sending the Senate home rather than forcing impatient senators to bide their time while Democrats play hardball. That suggests a vote won't come until late next week or even after. Progress has been scant in the talks despite more than a week of negotiation. White House negotiators made some concessions on jobless benefits and aid to state and local governments in a Tuesday session, and then promptly got scalded by Republicans after details leaked out. But Pelosi, a sometimes imperious force whose experience in negotiation is far more extensive than Meadows, will likely have to make some concessions soon. Her dollar figure for aid to states and local governments far exceeds what independent experts such as Moody's Analytics recommend, for example, and her position in favor of restoring the expensive state and local tax break is probably unsustainable. She's not going to allow the negotiations to collapse. She knows what the right moment is to pull the trigger and to try and close the deal, said Democratic lobbyist Steve Elmendorf. But she also knows when to wait and to let the other side come to you. So guys, overall, if I'm being honest, not a lot of good news, but I will be keeping an eye out, and as more news come to light, as more information comes out regarding the second stimulus check, the second stimulus package, the HEALS Act, and the extended unemployment benefits, I will obviously keep you posted. So if you guys want to remain updated on these developments, you might want to consider subscribing to the channel so you always know when this video comes out. And if you guys have found this video helpful or at the very least interesting, give it a thumbs up. It shows me that you guys like this video. And that's it for this video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.